School Days Radio. School Days.
Hey everyone, this is your girl Moyatu and the wonderful Denzel, and we are Free Talk. Today we have a very, very special group of guests, and they're really handpicked. I have Miss Nikki McGloster. I have Miss Kyla Chantel. I have Jasmine Battle. Don't know your last name, Akila, but Akila is perfect, and she's over here beautiful with this braid. Hey, so once again, thank you guys for coming today. I know it was a long drive, but you guys made it on time, and I really appreciate it. Today we're talking all boss girl things, girl boss. In my head, a girl boss is somebody that does what they have to do to get what they want, right? And that doesn't mean like in the sexual sense, of course, because that when you say something like that, it sounds sexual, whatever. But it's the hustle. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And to be a boss, your own boss, is hard AF. You get what I'm saying? Like you and your mom, Akila, you know what I'm saying? You're a singer, and I can't even imagine like. I can hold a tune, but just to hold a tune in front of people, like a room full of people, like Jasmine can sing her ass off, and just to, be around people and put your talent out there, that's a boss type situation. Kyla, girl, you do everything. She does everything, y'all, like from artistry to science. Like you're smart. Like y'all, when I met Kyla, I was so nervous to meet her because you were smart. Yes. Well, the standards of what I had to meet you in. So she's also my big sister. So, but yeah, you do makeup, you do freelance, you put yourself out there. That's a boss. You know what I'm saying? And Nikki, girl. Nikki is a boss in every standard, first of all, just seeing what you stand for, even with the her sweat situation, you stand up for women, you put your voice out there, just to be able to put your voice out there in different, platforms with Essence, Netflix, Revolt, whatever it is, what I'm saying? Working, period. That's some boss stuff. Needless to say, these women are girl bosses. How are you guys doing today? Kyla?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Yes. So I want to start the conversation of what happened in the beginning of the week. Beginning meaning Sunday, Where were you that day on Sunday when, the late Kobe Bryant passed? Jasmine, you could start off.
Oh my God, I was at
A track game?
Yeah.
Were you running?
No.
Oh, sorry. I was like, girl, teach me. Yeah.
Run a marathon, but so it was cool. I was at a track game, and it was like the moment one person looked in their phone, and you look around the whole gym,
and isn't it amazing?
Like,
yeah.
What? No, you didn't.
Facts.
Like you could see the disbelief kind of.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, he did not. And from there, it was the rest of the day was like, dang.
Yeah.
It kept getting
pretty much. It got worse.
Because I think that's like after, so the disbelief was initial, obviously. Everybody was kind of like, ain't no way that Kobe's dead. Yeah. Then when they made the news announcement about Gianna, I was a wreck. I was
honestly.
Like, it was already bad. Mm-hmm. Now, like, I am a wreck. And so, like, I was crying for most of the day.
Yeah, I cried.
I was bad.
The thing about it is I was in Walmart. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was in Walmart doing what I do best, getting food.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my line sister, and she was like, Kobe died. I said, girl, who is Kobe?
Which Kobe?
Yeah, I'm like, Kobe. I'm like,
not our Kobe.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in my head, like, she's talking about somebody, like people die every day, unfortunately. Yeah. But she's saying she's saying first name basis though. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, Kobe died. I'm like, yo, I don't know who Kobe is. Yeah. Like, who is Kobe? She was like, girl, Kobe Bryant. I'm like, okay, girl. You know what I'm saying? Like stop playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, as I'm walking through the aisles, people are talking about it. Mm-hmm. Like on some, like it's on some real time stuff. Like legit, I'm walking through the aisles. She said she has to call me back, whatever. And like people are talking about it. And like my mom, my mom knew about it. My daughter knew about it. She was like, somebody died in the helicopter, mommy. She didn't know who he was. Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like the news was that massive that, you know what I'm saying? And that just goes to show like, of course, how much of a giant he was, also how much social media is a giant. Because you can only, the way that his wife found out. You know what I'm saying?
That was the thing that really killed me, because I really hope that they figure out how to clear that up. And I want to say Harvey of TMZ came out and cleared that up. So I want to say that she didn't find out. Yeah, because he said that he got permission. Yeah, he said that he got permission. So I really hope she didn't find out in the media. You never know how these things go. Right. But I think that's the part that I was more tuned into than anything, was how the news was being reported. Because there were so many false reports. Like Rick Fox was on there. All the kids were on there. It was like TMZ came out first with their report, and then CNN kind of waited. So it's just interesting to see how media is covering things now. Absolutely. A lot of it is irresponsible. Very. And so we're in this weird space with social media, this weird fight with social media of like what you should share and what you shouldn't. Absolutely. Especially with something like this, you know, it's so like fragile. So
yes, and even at the simple fact that people are using Twitter as a reliable source, right? Like, that's honestly crazy to me. Like, that can't be somebody's reliable source, because these kids, you can even imagine, like, of course it was on a Sunday, so, you know, the kids weren't in school, his daughters weren't in school, but imagine if they were in school, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so fragile, like how social media is just so careless. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. It's very careless, where, you know, anything that you put out there, or somebody can literally just say something and then just change the whole narrative of the truth. You get what I'm saying? But, you know, I just wanted to like see where your mind was at, you know, on Sunday, and, you know, you're a mom. So, you know, I can only imagine, like, if you were there, you know, if you were with your daughter, if you weren't, because I was in Walmart. I wasn't even, I was getting sliced apples. So, you know, like, I wasn't with my daughter.
Speaking of mom, like, I was in LA. So the first thing, as soon as I found out, of course, it was the same wave where you hear it, you see it, but you're not sure. Everybody's panicking. It was a very eerie vibe. It was very foggy outside. So you're like, oh my God, this is like making sense, but you don't want to believe it. Yeah. But my mom called me, and she's like, oh my God, you're in LA. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, okay, mom. Yes.
Was it in a helicopter?
Were you in a helicopter?
I'm not friends with Kobe. I'm sorry. I wish I was. I didn't swing in those circles. But, you know, just as a parent, you panic. And then find out about Gigi after. It's like, as a parent.
That's what really hit me. Not that Kobe didn't hit me, but it's like the simple fact of you being in a small area and you see the fear on your child's face. And you can't do anything about it. I want to say that's one of my biggest nightmares. Is not being able to take a bullet for my, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, you know,
in that position, it was nothing anybody could do. So as a mom, and, you know, as a parent in general, that's like your worst fear.
Facts.
Like, not being able to protect.
Absolutely.
I think that was what really broke me. Like I said, when the Gianna news came out, that was really hard. And then thinking, like, Vanessa's probably somewhere. Like, she lost her husband and her kid. Like, I couldn't wrap my mind around it for half of the week. So yeah,
honestly,
that was bad.
Okay, so Akilah, you're a co-founder creator of a magazine, right?
Correct.
So in a sense of news, right? Or just information like that. Of course, I'm pretty sure that you guys are on that story, or, you know, have somebody that's probably like, you know, deciding to write about the Kobe, you know, situation. What is it that you guys stand by as far as collecting the right news and making it sensitive enough so it is entertaining, but it's not hurtful or offensive?
Well, just from the beginning, we have to be careful about what type of news that we actually want to report. We do entertainment, we do lifestyle. We don't necessarily have to do news. And when you do news and when you choose to do something like that, you have to have a credible source. You can't just report it because you're here to go off of another story. So you just have to be very careful and understand when you're dealing with sensitive situations or sensitive populations that you just have to be responsible from the get-go and know you know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
You can always correct it, but what damage did you do in the meantime?
Yes. And okay, so I'm going to go to you, Nikki, right? So when you're talking to people, like, just, you know, because I'm going to just talk a little bit more about it. So when you're talking to people and of course you probably know people that write as well as you. Have you ever had to correct somebody?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like, you mean in the sense of, like, if I'm just chatting with friends, like text or something? Oh my gosh, yeah. I think it's I don't know. I really credit myself on getting information from credible sources. So like if I'm talking to somebody and they have like some misinformation, I'm very quick to correct. Right. Only because I think whether you work in the news or not, word of mouth travels fast. And so it's just really important, whatever news it is, to just be accurate. Like I just learned, I guess that's just like a muscle that I use all the time to like be accurate. And then if I don't know what I'm talking about, I say I don't know. Like I'm very real on that.
Nothing wrong with saying you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's a problem. That's also a problem with
everybody wants to be right.
and it's dead wrong. Like it's just, even with the whole somebody sending me that it was all 4 girls and Rick Fox on the plane, and I'm like, where did you? I said, I literally said, where did you get this from? Yeah, I said, was this confirmed?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I said,
Rick Fox's family was freaked out.
Yeah, of course, and that hurts people. I said, where is this confirmed? They sent me something from Twitter, and I'm like, get off my phone. Yeah, like bro.
Get off my phone. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get back to you, because
the one thing that I realized I was correcting the most was actually the next day, because that's when the information about the pilot started coming out, and everybody was like making up all these stories about how he, you know, I guess the pilot cleared a mountain only by a couple of feet. There was like all this stuff, but there was like real facts, and like nobody knew what the hell they were talking about. And so I remember correcting a lot, because I was like, y'all just read the news article. Just like, don't just and
actually look at the
different news. Like watch CNN, read MSNBC, like collect your information and then kind of go from there.
And for a long time, you can tell even the news channels, they were very careful in what
absolutely
they were doing. It was like maybe a half a paragraph for a long time.
Yeah,
they didn't know.
Story developing.
It was
they were kind of just like cushioning it with his life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just to, and I think that that's most respectful, because you don't want to just add on to whatever could have happened, because that's such a short amount of time. There's so much there's so much of nothingness that you can know of from such a big accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're affecting so many people. These are 7 people, 9 people. I'm sorry, because I'm thinking those 2.
That was changing.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it was 4, then it was 5, then it was 7, and it's like, no, it's 9. Guys.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just doing that. It's okay to say I don't know, and I had to learn that for myself in life. Period. Like, it's okay to say I don't know, and literally you can look it up while you on the phone. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. Like, that word I don't know is very valuable. I tell my daughter to say you don't know. It's okay, because she loves to say I know. Like, it's impossible. It's impossible for you to know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't lie.
And being misinformed is just dangerous in general.
It is.
Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, especially if it pertains to somebody else, that's just a lack of compassion for you to just continue to spread something.
I think this world is very uncompassionate. We've gotten very desensitized to like people's feelings. Like, there was jokes already. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can be funny as a community. It's fun. I love laughing. Like, let's be honest. I love to laugh, but a serious moment needs to be a serious moment.
So I think one of the things that was concerning to me was like all the conspiracy theories that were trying to come out. And I was just like, why?
Right. And even with
did
someone
you
saying
see LeBron's comment section?
No, I didn't see it.
Like, people were just saying like he sacrificed Kobe.
Right. Okay.
I did hear that.
The man was grieving. Like,
right.
all he did the game before was just pay homage to somebody who did it better than him or before him. You get what I'm saying?
Right. And
like
then bring up his
Did you see that one? It's a cartoon circulating from a couple of years ago, and that one.
Oh, with Simpsons.
The helicopter.
Yeah.
From Legends. This cartoon called Legends. I saw that.
Yeah.
I did see
that.
But
I just felt like it was too soon, because like you're seeing, you're like, oh my god, you don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
But
it's all kind of too soon. It legit just happened. Like,
it's Black people's gift and curse.
It's such a gift and curse
of like tragedy or like pain, and we do it so well and it's so good. But time and place, because I think the Kobe thing was so it was so impactful, his death, and it hurt so many people that it's like, okay, y'all, we might not let's not joke.
Right.
Let's just kind of like share the right information and just grieve how we need to grieve. And I get that people need to make things funny to grieve, but again, be respectful of other people. Nothing. I'm a serious ass bitch. Like, don't like funny to me.
This
stuff is not funny to me.
Nothing about death is funny to me.
It's not. Yeah. Well, the funny thing about it is my dad died last year, right? And the way that me and my brothers coped with it was laughter and joking.
But was it like memories?
But that's our dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were like, you were like, okay, you would do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, you would, but that's just
like a week before I can do that, though. Like, I'm going to be in tears.
Of course. No. Of course you're going to be in tears.
Certain personalities kind of call for that, too.
Yes. You know who to do that with. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are my brothers. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, we know what... I would legit...
Right to scrap.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still not talking to them this day.
Yeah.
But, not that happened. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a time and place for everything. So, all right. So, with something so tragic that happened, how do you make a positive in that with your different realms and lanes that you have?
You mean with Kobe's death specifically? Mm-hmm. Oh, Mamba mentality.
That's
how I just kind of like, it was interesting because there were so many things. Like, Kobe is this icon, and so I'm thinking, oh yeah, I know everything about Kobe. But like, when information started coming out, like, oh my gosh, this interview clip, this basketball clip. So I just was consuming, and I do that all the time.
Me too.
Because when Nipsey passed too, I did the same thing. Yeah. So it was like, I just was consuming all this information, and I feel like you just kind of gather that energy and just apply it to your own life. Like, I had so many deadlines, I had so many pitches and stuff that I needed to get out this week that I was like, Mamba mentality, like, we got this, like, go out there, go get it. So that's how I turn into a positive. You make sure that their life wasn't in vain. Yeah, like, you just use that as inspiration.
Absolutely. I can definitely attest to that because I went hard this week, like, as far as work with Corey, like, with this, just like, you know, trying to continue to make sure that, you know, this show is continuing, you know, like, I'm just doing the most that I can to let it, you know, things like work. And that mentality that he has to just keep on working, you know what I'm saying? Like, be the first person and the last person, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he was
that
relentless,
young, like, for real. And I didn't know any, like, I knew social things about Kobe, you know what I'm saying? But as far as him, like, having those girls, you know, as far as like his, you know, the young girls on the team, like, being a coach, and then, like, putting in money into homelessness, and you know, just those little conversations that he had with people, that, you know, he was a humble person. Of course, you know, somebody that big, you can be like a Michael Jordan and not talk to nobody.
Right. But what's so funny is, like, do you guys remember that, like, people used to say Kobe was a jerk? Like, do people remember that? I do remember that. Because when I started seeing all this, oh, he was such a good guy, I was like, oh, was he? Yeah. Not that I thought he was a bad person, but I just remember him being a jerk. But then in context, he was like that on the court.
Yeah.
So, like, on the court, it was like, no holds barred, cuss you out.
Which you should do, because that's your job. That's what you need to be.
So it's funny because it's interesting what people say about you when you after you go.
Yeah,
it's just,
it is
funny. Yeah,
how it's always been.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate that you get those flowers once you pass on.
Yeah,
you can't take anything away from a man who's done so much in his lifetime.
Honey, and it inspired so many people. Yeah. So how is it, Nikki, important to keep social media in your life as far as your...
I'd be stressed.
You be stressed? It's
you mean, is it important for my personal life or my professional life?
No, your professional life.
Okay, so professional life is extremely important, and it's something that I actually need to work on. It's funny because in my professional life, I work in social media, but in my personal life, I'll be trying to, like, stay away as much as I can.
But how do you do that?
You can't. So I have to figure. So it's a constant battle of me trying to, like, balance it and try to figure out, like, when I need to shut off and when I don't. But in my professional life, it's very important because people. So if I'm my own business, right? I'm my own business, so I have to go. Like, I only eat if I hunt. So I've got to be available to people. They have to know that I have writing services. They have to know what I do. How will I do it? I have to share. So it's imperative.
And
like, I can't. It's exhausting. Like, my homie, he'll hit me because he's a brand consultant, Byron. He'll hit me up and he'll be like, "You ain't post on your IG stories," and I'll be like, "Okay." Like, it's just. But I have to remember that, and that's genuinely something that's on my vision board. Or one of my goals for this year is to just get better. Yeah. Being more consistent.
Right. Girl.
But it's just draining.
That's my word.
Yeah, it's draining.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's so draining to keep, and especially when you're creative.
Yeah.
Because your mind is everywhere.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I can do this. Oh, dang, I just thought about that. That'll be dope. Yeah. And then, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, this is not going to flourish if I don't keep on doing the same thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think another part of being a creative is, like, wanting to be authentic.
Yes.
And so sometimes consistency and authenticity don't line up. And so it's like, why am I posting this? It's not how I feel. I'm just posting to post. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing. So with you, Jasmine, my little sunflower, how do you brand yourself as a singer and a songwriter?
Hold the mic up.
Like, how do you...
That's a challenging question, but for the most part, I try to be authentic.
Yeah.
You know, and try to always, like you said, zen.
I
had to make sure that I was still myself because it's pressure.
Yeah.
We grew up looking up to Kobe. Everybody liked Kobe. Every celebrity were our idols. So you have that's a power, and then you have to watch how you put yourself out there when you want to, and you have little kids, young children watching you, or any age group, older, whoever, our age group, whatever. But it's not easy.
Right.
It's not easy at all.
So also with music just constantly always coming out, is it okay? Do you feel pressure to come out with certain type of music to adapt to what is going on today? Because yes, R&B is like surfacing, coming back, and we have the summers and we have the
summer.
Yes, we have the Snow Allegra's and things like that. How do you stay true to your sound and stay in your lane? Or are you like, is that what you aspire to be like?
No, it's a right time. Just a right time for everything. I feel like history repeats itself. So with a lot of the music we're hearing, I'm actually I would rather the sample phase fade out a little bit because we had to let the greats be the greats because we're not being creative enough. So I'm putting pressure on myself to be creative, to tell my story, but to be impactful to a lot of people, not just the urban community, not just the pop culture, not just R&B. I actually grew up on a lot of various rock, a lot of different music, so
which is black music.
Absolutely.
It's all ours.
That's right.
Country, all that shit is ours.
Absolutely.
So,
and I never thought about that sample because I love a good old school song. I love finding a sample. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know what the original song was. Like my boyfriend I get on his nerves. Like, do you know the real song? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I will play it for you. Like, I love original song. So when you said that you want the samples to go out, I definitely can resonate with that because I'm not a singer. I could be, but it's like no, I'm like, but I get that. I really appreciate you staying true to that because that's hard. To be different.
I love all music, everything, and I'm inspired by every artist out there today. But it is challenging.
Right.
I want a sample.
Right.
Like so many artists influence my sound, but it's hard to put that in one song or in one genre. I'd be sampling everybody.
All day.
Yeah.
Yes, Kanye.
Yeah.
All day. Like, oh no, honestly, I'm here for it. I get it. All right, so we're gonna go to break for a little bit because we have to play music, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And just take a little break.
Play a good one.
Yeah, so when we come back, we're actually going to play a game with Jasmine. Are you ready for the game?
Oh, God. Here we go. Is this
All right, so we're back. This is Free Talk. Once again, I'm Moyatu, and we have Denzel, and we have these wonderful ladies here today talking about some boss girl things.
Yes, sir.
So, right now, we're going to play a little game. And it's called, I'm pretty sure some people heard about it. It's called Song Association, where you are given a word, and usually 10 seconds, but I'm going to give you 15, Jasmine, because I love you. And you are going to sing a song that has that word in it. It's not the title, but it has the actual word in the song, right? Okay. So, yeah.
Can
so
we help her? Like support?
I love support. Women support. I love women support.
You're saying she's on her own, basically.
Y'all can help. That's fine. Kyla, y'all can help. That's fine. Y'all can help. That's cool. Let's support each other.
Y'all can hum.
Usually, right. Usually.
Okay, we won't say it out loud, but we'll just be like, hint.
Usually. Yes. All right. So, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm going to say the first word and then start. Okay. So, the first word is stop. Ready? Let's go. Where's your mic?
Oh.
Bruh.
Okay.
The word is stop.
Stop in the name.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, this is not that hard.
Yeah, it's not that hard. All right. So stop in the name of love.
That was a good one.
Right. So we're gonna go down to 10. Let that anxiety sink.
First thing that comes to your mind, you got this.
So stop. All right. So that was the first. You get it now.
All right.
You get it. So the word is gonna be in the song.
Do you want me to sing for real?
Yeah, it would be nice since you are a singer. You know, we're promoting your voice. If you want to, yeah, that would be nice.
Got you a hot tea.
Want some water?
For real.
You want some more water?
No, I'm good.
Do you need to warm up really quick? Okay. All right. Okay. No pressure. First of all, Jasmine's been singing since I've known her, and I've known her since Norfolk State. And shout out to Norfolk State. Sorry, Keela. But yes, shout out to.
It's okay. We wouldn't know
Oh,
about
that's
you.
good. That's education, girl. That is okay. That's another thing, because we're still gonna play the game, of course. But that's another thing. Like, I love my HBCU and I love HBCU schools, but we have to stop downplaying black people that go to PWIs.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Because black people at PWIs are black people too.
That-
and I love them too. So.
Let me tell you.
What?
I got my master's from a PWI, and I'm just like, why?
You feel like you shouldn't have?
Sometimes, yes. I mean, like it's just like it was just really expensive. And I'm like,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I
Yeah,
taught myself
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah.
Like
You did.
Yes, I'm like, this is like
Yeah.
the support that I got at Norfolk State
Right.
for free.
Right. Yeah.
On that master's,
Oh, thank you.
Definitely congratulations. Yes, because I remember when you just finished and you were doing everything under the sun besides studying. That's like, girl, I'm like, what are you doing here?
I don't know.
Yes. Okay. So back to the songs. You're not done. All right. So the next song is Ready. Let's go.
I am ready for love.
All right. Yes. Perfect. That's the song I was thinking of too.
See, I was thinking more Hill.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. So you can play with different people.
That was the
Everybody has
first-
different perspectives.
I'm not gonna tell you
Yes.
what was on my mind.
Oh God, was it Trey song?
Seems like you're
Oh,
ready.
I was like, before we knew what was going on. That's fine. Listen, I can't. All right, so, dog. The next song is Girl.
What's the?
Uh-huh.
Look at yourself. Girl. Okay.
Right. I thought you was about to start with the Homecoming. All right. So the next word is love. Let's go.
There's so many songs of love in it. Love, never knew what I was missing.
Okay. Yes. What's that, Keisha Cole? Yes.
I hate that song so much.
That
I hate it
song.
so much. My best friend wore it out in high school, and she played it every morning on our way to school. And I swear to God, I could slit my wrist now.
He was over here cringing.
Yeah, I was
Right.
Oh
She was
my
like,
God.
not that song.
OT Genesis remix.
Right. The
Then
remix.
OT Genesis
Music
like
Soul Child,
revived it. I'm
love.
like, I hate that song.
No, you brought it back.
I was like, I know she's gonna do it. I know it.
So people now are replaying
I
it.
wanted to die.
Right.
No.
Dog, I can't. All right.
Same.
The next song is Down.
That's
Yes.
Y'all must
Hey, right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Shout out to 90s R&B.
Shout out to Brandy.
Shout out to
Okay.
Brandy for
Shout
real.
out to
That was
Brandy.
another thing. I'm not even gonna
An
lie.
icon. I wanted to be her.
Honestly,
I loved her.
and I was thinking also with that whole Kobe situation, like I was like,
I totally forgot.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of because he was on the show and whatever, and like.
And people forget at the time they were dating, she was huge.
Huge, like very big.
Star, massive TV star.
I thought them dating was like not real.
I thought it was a publicity stunt too. Me too. I think it was.
I don't know. It might have been both.
Real. Yeah, I think it was real, but it happened to be a good look. So it aligned really
especially
well.
for them to be both like of that color.
Yeah.
Like it was really something to like look at.
It's funny because she was the star at the time. He was like popping, but he had just got to LA.
Yeah.
And so she was the real star of that like relationship.
That's crazy. Yeah. Life is legit crazy of how you start out and just branch off. Lord.
I still don't think she's come out and said anything about his death either. She
did.
Oh, she did what she
said? Yeah,
she
did. She said something to the girl.
What she said?
Right, I was waiting for
I'm
her.
not gonna quote it.
She said something about like to the girls and the like the
the
wife.
Just like a simple.
Yeah, she kept it cute.
It's nice.
Yeah,
nice.
She didn't do no picture of them too. Like I was just like, thank God, because people aren't rude. Like people take everything. Yeah. And all those videos were coming. I'm like,
the Kobe episode of Moesha.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a lot.
You don't move to watch Moesha tonight.
All right, so the next song, because we have two words. I mean, the next word. We have 2 words left. The next one is me.
Me, can you focus on me?
Yes. Okay, you got easy words.
That's a good one.
I should have did some other stuff. Yes. Okay, cool. That's good. You doing good though. See, you were nervous.
I was so nervous.
Yeah, for no reason. All right, and the last word is you.
Ooh, this is
No,
bad.
good.
There's too many songs with you and I.
Oh, okay.
must make
I would have never thought about it.
Neither would I. Yes.
We must bring
Salvation back.
Nobody
Good song. When there is love, I'll be there. Good job. All right, so good job. I'm proud of you. Good job. All right, I'm glad we could showcase your talent. Yes. All right, so you, Jasmine, you sung background. Was it Summer Walker? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not crazy. Right. All right.
Oh, that's lit.
Sometimes I'm crazy.
So many times people are like, I know that.
Because it's like, because she looks like herself sometimes. And then sometimes it's like, who is that? So Summer Walker. No shade. She's gorgeous. But I'm just saying sometimes like, you know how somebody just looks like themselves but doesn't look like themselves? Yeah. So yeah. How was it working with her? Because, you know, like
Because we love her.
Yeah, that's number one.
I love her.
That's number one. How was it working with her? And then also seeing as though that she came out with you know, her having social anxiety and things like that. Did it affect the way you guys worked?
No. Well,
Did you?
a lot of people don't know that we used to like connect over Vine. So she was one of the first kind of like friends I made when I first moved to Atlanta.
She was there?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Vine too, like.
But that's like TikTok in a sense, is it?
Like, it was TikTok before TikTok. Like Vine,
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. They just revamped it.
Loop.
Yeah, it's a revamp.
The 6
Okay.
second loop, and people were so creative. Woo, especially singers.
Yeah, my anxiety would definitely peak with that because I can't. 6 seconds, I'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Time is up.
Vine was like
Time is up. Like honestly, okay.
It's a beautiful community though, because people were really supporting each other.
Yeah.
We were having meetups and everything.
Oh wow! So that's how you were able to meet with her.
Yeah. When it got out, like I know a lot of people just was like, "Oh, you're in Atlanta. Do this, do this."
Right.
Come out and do, come and see what the scene's about, type thing. So it was cool. So I felt comfortable. At first, I was nervous, honestly, because I was like, "Oh my gosh, like you're doing so good." But at the time, it wasn't. She was not. She was calm in that moment. I don't really recall her being too anxious, but I know she just was like, okay, trying to do her best. So it was cool.
That's
I
interesting.
feel like music is her safe space.
Yeah,
so she probably doesn't have that much anxiety.
Right.
Well, I guess stage is different than
Yeah,
studio.
when it came
but
to music, like you are surrounded by a lot of.
Yeah, because it's different when you're actually singing like in a studio and you're free singing, and then you're in front of all these people and you have to sing. That's crazy.
just like more, different. It's so different. You're feeling more of that energy of the audience,
right?
Of you wanting to put your artistry out there. So I don't know.
How do you feel when you're out there and singing? And have you ever had like a crowd where it's like their energy was off?
Yeah, all the time.
And like, how do you keep the confidence going? Because that in itself, like, shout out to you, because honey, my anxiety is already high when I come in this room, let alone to be in a room full of other people looking at you like, girl, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you, especially us, like as a black culture, like we're not impressed.
Oh, you about to hit that high note?
Right.
Oh, okay, I'm
like you better right. So how do you keep like your confidence and keep on, singing, in a huge room of people?
I only have an example.
Oh yes, give us an example.
I love an anecdote.
Absolutely.
I moved back to Virginia a while, but when I went back to Atlanta for Kyle Norman from Jagged Edge birthday bash.
Which one's Kyle?
The fine one.
The director's.
Which one is the fine one?
It's Kyle
the fine one. I think. Let me Google it. Go ahead.
He's not.
That's the one that doesn't sing the most.
But hold on, I thought that there were two sets of twins.
Yeah,
it's two sets.
Oh no, Kyle's not the fine one.
So it's like
sorry, Kyle.
A twin, like there are two sets of twins.
No, there's just one set.
And then it's a group of brothers, right?
The other ones are brothers.
Yeah,
cousins.
Cousins. I think they're cousins. They're not brothers.
Girl, they know each other.
They
just know each other.
With all this misinformation.
We're about to get informed.
Right. Jagged Edge, please come on the show and confirm who you are. Because I
love the music.
Honestly, love the music. I love it. But
the quartet is twins, Brian and Brandon, Richard and Kyle. They don't say that Richard and Kyle are related at all.
Okay.
I thought they were.
But we
right. So we're gonna say they're brothers. But so you went to. Girl, I can't.
I went there and it was cool because when you're in the audience intoxicated,
of course, they love everything.
Right.
So I was like singing like a smooth, like Lauryn Hill, I think, and this was like, this wasn't the right song to sing in, because
they're high where the party at.
And another time,
where the party at? Literally.
But he did good at trying to he told them to shut the F up.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Oh my god.
So he was supportive.
Nice.
That's
he was
good.
supportive me, yeah. And then the other time I was it was a function with just a bunch of rappers, and I was the only singer.
See.
And I'm sitting there, and they all have these trap songs.
Right.
Trap city. So I was down there, and then.
Were you in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It was so nerve-wracking. And I just sung my song, and
you just gotta do it.
Was there nothing that the response was?
It was like, oh, okay.
Turn
up.
Yeah, right. All right, girl.
Like, where's the turn up?
You gotta take one of them trap songs and sing it.
Good.
Make it.
Yeah, that is. You might have to just change it up. That makes sense. Well, girl, I appreciate you because.
That takes a lot.
Yeah, it takes so much. That takes a lot for you to go in front of people that you don't know, and black people don't. They're not impressed.
Y'all know the Apollo Theater.
Oh my god, they are
Dang.
and it's always an ignorant.
We're like the
person.
biggest critics.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
You know what though?
When it comes to singing though, too, because music is deeply black,
It's so
it's
black.
very much like can you sing? Or can you
But
sing?
I feel like the critics are people that could never.
It's always. Oh no, definitely.
It's like you can
It's
never.
either you're
stand where I'm
cringing.
standing.
It's either you're cringing. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have that talent, they're loud and they're rambunctious and stuff and doing the most. But it's like somebody that has like that art feeling. Like, they're like, okay, baby girl, it's okay. It's okay. We got you. You know, it can go either way.
I appreciate that support, though.
You need that support.
I appreciate even y'all.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to go to that next. Definitely, as far as support. So, girl. All
right, let's get to real talk. All right.
All right, this is the real portion. All right. So, Akilah, you have Newer Magazine, right? So, with the magazine and starting it up, was it about a year or 2 years ago? How long ago has it been?
About 5 years now.
5 years, Jesus, excuse me, but that's a long time, girl. Time does go fast. Then I just had my kid then. Okay. Woo, baby.
Labor and delivery.
No, I thought about a good C-section and get on out of there. That's what it was.
Open it up.
Listen, but yes. Okay, so with that, what do you have to compromise with having a magazine? I'm sure you have another, you have other projects and other things going on. You also are a mom.
That was the hardest.
To compromise.
Balancing being a mom, but you don't realize, I think it was easier than it is now.
Yeah.
Because, you're just constantly growing and constantly getting into different things. And my daughter's growing up, and now she's looking at me to be accountable for her life, right?
Honestly.
So as much as I try to balance everything, I'm not perfect. So I think that balance is always hard. My co-founder, Crystal, she and I are both just busy in our personal lives.
Right.
And then just trying to find time to make sure that we dedicate, enough time and energy to the magazine. It becomes stressful, but you just got to push.
Right. And, okay, Kyla, Jesus, girl, you do everything. So, with your freelancing of makeup, what do you have to compromise as far as work or, trying to, push your work out there, having clients on end, weddings, things, travel? What is your biggest compromise?
It's actually in my personal life. Because as you know, I'm in a relationship. When I first started a relationship, I'm like, I don't care. I got, this, that, and the other to do.
Absolutely.
Where do you fit in my books? And he said to me that it felt like I was penciling him in like I was one of my clients.
Wow.
And it made me have to step back, reevaluate, are you a priority to me? It at one point it was if I want to be a successful business person, then relationship has to come secondhand. And now it's more so he's assisting in what I do. So it's
but that's another thing though with a relationship that I had to, because at first of course I wasn't in a relationship, I was on my savage stuff. So being in a relationship, I thought that I would have to be on a certain type of level and a certain type of ready to be in a relationship. I need to bring something to the table. I need to be, this show needs to be on another different platform in order for me to even think about having a relationship.
Right.
So when you said something to the point of penciling in someone, that resonated with me because it's hard as fuck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To have a personal life, be a parent, be a student, be a freaking coworker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
At the time I was in grad school. I was freelancing. I worked for a bridal makeup company and I was interning. Did I say that already?
No, girl.
And I was interning.
What else?
So it was.
Did I say that? No, he did.
So it was a lot happening, and I still needed time to, study and things like that. And then, then I decided to be in a relationship. How crazy was I in the moment? But I think that I did my best work when I had a whole lot on my plate. Which is interesting.
I like being busy too, because it's I need to do this. And when I have idle time, it's not good.
It just kind of.
You never feel like you're doing enough.
Yeah, you never feel like you're doing enough. But it's when I have a line, I have a deadline. This show, I was up 6 a.m. Girl, how am I gonna talk to Nikki and Kyla? How, you know what I'm saying? It's you have to keep people entertained. So it's I like being busy. Trust,
I like feeling productive too.
Facts.
So when I am crossing off things, I'm I did good.
Absolutely.
It really is rewarding. I mean, it might be stressful leading up to that point, but once it gets done, and it might be a lot of things that need to get done, but as you start checking off those things on different boxes, you do feel good.
Right. I think one of the compromising things when it came to the business aspect was, I had done a couple fashion shows, and actually don't like them at all.
Doing fashion shows?
Yeah. It's just really... I'll say I don't like the fashion show scene in Richmond. I'll say that. Because I feel like what happens is they have these models and they're receiving your service and they don't have to pay for it. So now they don't see the value in what you do. But then they like you and they're like, oh, I got such and such going on. I would love for you to be a part of it. And I just felt like it just generated more people that just wanted some shit for free. And I don't like that at all. And so with that, I had to take into consideration when I have quote unquote opportunities to do things like, is this in line with what it is that my purpose is? It's not just to elevate you and make sure your project gets done, but how is it going to assist me and where I want to go?
Right. So Nikki, with the jobs that you do you still find yourself doing things for free?
Girl, no.
Okay.
What? I charged one of my friends the other day, and he was, I shouldn't say I charged him, but like I told him what my rates were. He said at the time he couldn't. I was like, okay, cool. So get back to me when you can. Right. I love my friends dearly, but I also know that there's value in what I do, and I know my worth. I ain't crazy. Right. So I haven't done anything free since I was an intern.
And shit is time consuming too.
Yeah.
So remember we had the conversation earlier this week. Yeah. Right. And like realistically, like people come to you because they see value in what you do. So we should not devalue ourselves. Right. And be like, oh well, since you're this to me, like if they were going to somebody else, they was gonna pay that money.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, because I was thinking like I was talking to Kyla because I was trying to figure out what my rates would be. Right. So I was like, how do you value yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you put value to? It's like, how much am I? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
you should always look at it from like a perspective. Well, I think when people first start out, and I get this question a lot from other writers, are like, how do I charge? Or what should my freelance rates be or whatever? When you're first starting out and you're kind of like a novice, you could probably start at standard. You could find it anywhere. You could Google it and just kind of find standard. But every time you do a new project, you can change your rate if you want to. You should always bump it up when you go to, like, let's say, for instance, I want to get a 9 to 5 tomorrow. I can go in there and base it off of what I've made for freelance, which, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think you have to pigeonhole yourself or be afraid to charge somebody.
Yeah, because
I'll charge my mom if I need to.
Well,
what? Like, yeah.
Right. Well, you gotta have that mentality.
People be like, oh, you do it for the look. No, Beyonce herself couldn't ask me to do something for free. That's crazy. Right. Because she would pay anybody else on her creative team. Absolutely. So it's kind of like, why?
No, I get it.
Discounts?
I think, like, a lot of times too,
because it's just we got to have it as women. I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead. No, I'm listening.
But no, just as women, as women, we're like, we're very like meek about money, and I hate that because that keeps us. That's why our generational wealth is all fucked up. But that's a whole other story. But we gotta really go out there and charge and be like, no, because I'm good at this. Right. I'm confident about what I do. This is how much it costs to pay me.
And you factor in like your overhead and shit.
Hello. Yeah. Because when the rent is due, they ain't gonna be like, oh, I did that project for free. Right. So can you cut my rent down? No.
Right. Yeah, because they do that rent now
today.
Right.
The rent is due today. However you get your money is how you pay. So yeah.
So what was you gonna say?
Nah, she said it all. For real. Nah, you good. But I mean,
I didn't know what
but just as what you were saying though, like I used to be timid to like price and to charge people, you know, especially if it's family and stuff. They always want a discount, but they know your work is dope. You feel me? Like just for photography too, I used to undercharge. Like can you believe I used to charge for like $150, and they'll want me there for like 6-7 hours.
Oh,
like,
nah.
That's insane. And then after that, like you have to consider the editing time as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're spending time at home. People like pressuring you. Oh, can you have it? Yeah, transportation. So by the end of that, like, well, what you making out of that? Like $90,
right?
You feel me?
Absolutely.
And what you gonna do with that?
They want you to bring the discount, but if you weren't available, they'd have to go to
they'll pay somebody else. And that's what used to annoy me too.
You can love your family, but they would pay
for somebody else. Exactly.
That's very
true.
So
my cousin was getting married, and his wife reached out to me asking about doing her makeup. Well, his wife to be at the moment. And I gave her my rates, whatever. She told me the location, time, whatever, right? So I pull up to the spot. Ain't nobody there. I can't even get inside the space. So I'm like calling, like, yo, where are y'all? And of course, at the time I'm in school, so I'm like, I don't have time for this shit.
Right, literally.
And so she was like, oh, well, can you do it at my house instead? I'm like, first of all,
see, that's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Now
said,
she playing on your time.
right. So I told her, I was like, the only way I'm coming to do anything for you is if you pay this.
Yeah, you have to pay
because you got to pay for the original
my time.
Yeah.
And now the new appointment.
Right.
Like, because to me it's like inconsiderate. Like, would you do this to somebody else?
No.
And if you were if it was you and somebody was sitting in your chair, would you want that to be done to you?
Right.
Like, nah.
And you should always discharge a deposit. I tell creatives that all the time. You should always try to deposit up front to guarantee that you get money out of the service, because some people will do that. They won't
That's
show
important, because once people invest their money, they don't want to lose it.
Yep. Right. So they'll definitely show up, or they'll definitely, do what they need to do. So
I have mixed emotions though, because I definitely think that as women, we really don't value ourselves enough. We don't really hold other people accountable for the time and energy that you're spending on them. But I also come from like a big family, right? So I just feel like as family, or even my friends that I consider family, like we girlfriends, this is just what we do for each other.
Yeah, I get it.
And then also on the other end, as creatives, I feel like sometimes we don't value people's time. So it's like, pay this deposit, you better be here this time. If you're here 15 minutes late, then you're losing a deposit, but then you're late. So as Black people, as women, as creatives in general, I just feel like we should be respectful of each other. So if I'm getting my hair done and it's taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours,
10.
I should not want you to do that for free.
Yes.
I mean, out of courtesy, I should pay you regardless of who you are.
Right.
It may be a time where I can or cannot, and that's where the friendship or the sisterhood comes in.
yeah.
But
The
just
hairstylist should also be on time.
right.
And
It's the
ready.
respect
So
thing
I
on
think
both ends,
They
though.
shouldn't be taking care of their kid while you're doing that,
Or eating, or you wanna
taking a break.
stopping to eat.
Right.
You know what? It like
Listen,
runs
that's-
together.
if you take a break,
Photography,
I'm
hair,
being
like
fine.
nail,
If that's free,
doesn't matter.
oh baby, I'll hold your
I'm
baby.
right.
I'm being
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a whole
But I
different.
think you're right.
Respect
On
on
both
both
sides, it has to be
ends.
responsible, and I think that's where I'm coming from, because I know that I always show up, do my best work. But you're right. Some people will
people
kind
just
of be
don't.
like, oh,
I'll get there when I get there.
like a
Yeah.
creative will
Wanna
be lazy.
charge.
They'll be late.
Oh, yeah.
The most thing- and then some people, I feel
that's
like we take advantage of each other. So I mean, I have cousins where I'm gonna go to you first, right? Because you're my cousin. I want to support you.
course.
I'm gonna get my hair done. But then there's a respect level of time and everything else, and then you want to charge me 10 times more than you charging everybody else. I can see the rates.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it? Because you think I have it. So because
I
I
think that's
have it,
disgusting.
now you're gonna charge me more. So again, it's a I don't
It's
think
a delicate
respect is a
balance.
word, but I mean it's not necessarily the appropriate word for it. But we definitely have to be considerate and not try to take advantage.
That's
of it.
a
Yeah.
fact.
It's got to be mutual.
And also,
Mutual
that goes
respect.
into everything goes into whatever I'm saying. So,
It was a good segue.
right, perfect. So, how do you categorize your friends and family? Because, with your creative space, you have these friends for that, or this person for that. Do you feel like it's necessary to categorize and realize that? Because sometimes you get disappointed by certain people because you have an expectation,
But you haven't voiced that expectation, and I think that's where things get into in a lot of cases. I think when you have mental expectations and you do not articulate those, then that's where all the confusion. You have all these emotions built inside, and this person over here, la da da, thinking everything's okay,
right?
And so I think that if we have like for my friend, I'll use this for example. One of my friends is having a baby shower tomorrow. She was prepared to pay me. I am gifting her this makeup for her because who don't want to go to the store?
Exactly.
But it's for most of my friends, it's the expectation like offer to pay me, and if it's a special event, you try to toss me that money. I'm like, no, I got you.
Right.
But let me do that.
Yeah,
Right.
let that be my choice.
Yeah, facts. I was saying that's a definitely good, example. But I'm saying as far as support, as far as, you're a singer, right? And, it would be a blessing if somebody reposts what you are doing. I'm not saying this is like happens. It happens to me all the time. I don't give a fuck. But you know what I'm saying? Like I constantly am posting somebody else's work, but it's not because
You want them to post your work.
yeah, it's not that. It's just because I legit love people and like their work, and like I want somebody to see it. Like this is not on purpose, but it's purposeful. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what you guys can do for each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's done on, off of support. But there are some people that, like they just aren't built like that. You know, where it's like they, you know what I'm saying? Like some people, like you'll even send them the video, like, hey, you know, like, hey.
So your question is basically like, how do we kind of view support?
Yes, how do you view support, and then how do you continue a friendship from a person?
I guess so. It's interesting because when I had so the fitness and wellness brand that we had, Her Sweat, me and a partner, Adele. During that process, I really learned that, like, to not expect support. Not to say that it's not there. And I feel like her and I built a really great network of support. So we had a support system, people that would share, people that would show up to events, etc. So it was there, but I never went into anything expecting friends or family to, like, do something. Like, if they did,
probably
great.
Expect the opposite.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
and that's what I was saying.
Like, if they did it, great. Like, if you shared and reposted, great. If you didn't, I didn't feel slighted by that because I honestly, if everybody who's had a business or doing anything, you notice that, like, you get more support from strangers
that you don't even know.
And it's not that the people in your life don't support you. It's just hard pressed for them to, like.
Sometimes I don't think they know how to support
you.
And they don't know where they want to stand on, or they don't.
Some people don't even understand.
So sometimes they're doubting.
Definitely. That's what I'm saying. They don't want to see you fail, but at the same time, they're not certain that it's going to work out. So I think sometimes we just can't expect too much from our family and realize our network will grow much larger if you're looking beyond that.
Right. Right.
So far, anyway, they already know you, right?
Because if you get caught up in, like, who is and isn't supporting you, you're getting all messed up creatively. So it's like, just do your best stuff, and the people who support you, friends, family, whoever, will flock. It is
facts.
I've had a little difficulty because I do hair as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I do hair as well, so it's hard. It's challenging. It's not hard being that creative because I'm a creative stylist. I'm not really, specialized. I mean, I do natural hair, but it's like sometimes it's a little challenging because my friends and family are people I want to do stuff for free. I want to do. It's picking and choosing, but I also, if I need their support, it comes with communication.
Right.
Like, y'all, I don't have it, and I'm trying my best because I have an idea. Can you support me? If you're not able to, no hard feelings. I'm going to keep this endless friends, endless family, endless, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
of
it's
course.
like, okay, I'm doing this, y'all, just putting it out there, doing it, and praying on it. I'm like, let's. I'm following all of y'all. Can we?
But sometimes you have to be aggressive. As far
like,
because I don't have I get support. It's not specifically for me. It's for people that really don't understand that you cannot expect for people to support you. Like, it's just, you have to understand that there are certain people for certain things. You know what I'm saying? And that's the
some of your
lack
friends
of
and family don't even know what you do.
facts.
So they're just like okay.
Like, it's just like literally the blind. Like, they don't know. And like you said, the communication of how to support me. Like, you have to really, like, communicate with people, and if after that they don't support you, that's when it's just like, you know what, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so we're gonna go into our last segment because
I will say
just go ahead and cut me off.
I love it.
No, go for it. I'm here for it.
Before we move on, the only one thing that I want to say, because this was actually a conversation on Twitter, the conversation came up of if it's important to you for your significant other to support you in, like, what you do. And I think that's the only person that I would probably be like, if they didn't support me.
I was
what's up?
Oh, okay, so
that's the
never mind. Segment is still going.
I would be like, you don't, like, you're not, you don't believe me. You're not, like, because I imagine, like, your partner is like your partner in life, and y'all are kind of riding for each other.
Facts.
So I want to know what you do. I don't care what you do. If it's different industry, cool. I'm gonna learn about that.
Absolutely.
I want to support you.
There you go.
And you better support me. That's the only person I think I would.
They don't know how to support you.
I've been in relationships
and
like
I've
that.
learned that unless I want to be disappointed, I have to say, be here at this time. You are showing up, or I need this.
Yes.
This is what I like. You just have to communicate.
Just like
they feel like
they're
they're
cookout and you say, I need you to bring the hot dogs, I need you to bring the buns, bring the balloons,
down how they
DJ.
Yeah, like, for example,
sometimes
like,
they just don't want to get in the way, so they're just like, I'm watching. It's like, no.
I respected, like, Marcus. How Marcus like promoted his girl, like his wife.
Facts.
That was dope.
Who is Marcus?
Marcus Dawson. He
Oh, Marcus from Perfect State.
Facts. He was here last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I had an all guy show.
Marcus.
What's that? Yeah, so I was saying, okay, at the end, everybody promote everything. He was like, support my wife. She has his wig line. You know what I'm saying? Like,
King.
you know what I'm saying? And the simple fact of, you can tell that he learned it because she was doing it around him. Like, you know, he took the time to learn what she was doing. Right. And we have to, as creatives, because there's no book. Like, I mean, yes, there are books, but that's somebody writing about their experience. Right. There's no book like 101, like how to be an accountant or how to be a doctor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you're literally always learning, always teaching, whatever. And for me, I had to learn to tell like my boyfriend, like, this is not a hobby, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in IT, so smart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is literal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is on a Saturday, but bro, I need to wake up. I am constantly calling people during the week. I'm getting on everybody's nerve, email. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to constantly fill up spots and like learn how to advertise. Like, it's a job, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a job like yours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you have to really teach somebody, and that's where the support comes into play. Because he woke me up at 6:00 this morning to finish my questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, so honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to him.
That's a person. Your partner is probably the one person that you should expect support from. And, and be very open and communicative about how they.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable.
Like, if you don't support me, like,
period. Yeah, but we're really gonna go into a break. For
real.
For real, and go into the last segment.
School Days Radio.
Yes. Well, we're back. Free Talk. This is Moyatu and Denzel. Back to that conversation. So being at Norfolk State is crazy because I felt like, well, me and Sia were like the only Africans for real, to be totally honest. Really? Because at that time, it was a lot of like ice cream paint job shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because to be in such a culture shock of so many black people. Like, when we came down to Virginia, I'm like, oh, this is a lot of black people. Like, being from up here, you can't go anywhere without seeing so many different cultures. Like, it's just a huge melting pot. And going down there, it was like very restricted to everything that only black people knew. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned a lot of culture from like African American culture, like going down to, you know, Norfolk. But when people come up here and like they see our culture, like, it's interesting to see how they adapt because they really like love our culture and stuff like that. It's a beautiful thing.
So I feel like my experience at Norfolk State was a little different.
Okay. Because there were Africans there?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I wish I had met you.
Denemis?
Full of Denemis. Oh, well, that makes sense. All the Nigerians. Yeah, the smart Nigerians.
No, but it was like, damn, I've never seen so many Nigerians in my life. Yeah, then I got exposed to the food. Like, I was just like, oh yeah, I love this shit.
Oh, that's amazing.
See, from having family in New York, I kind of already was exposed to
absolutely, I'm sure.
Like West Indian culture, African culture, all that. So it's interesting because I have the same perspective. I have the same perspective that you have about Norfolk. I kind of have the same one about here too. Really, especially after living in New York, it's kind of like the melting pot is okay here, but it's still very like just regular black. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't say that to be disrespectful because whatever, you know, that is what it is. But in like I'm obsessed with New York in a sense of like the diversity. Oh yeah, absolutely. We don't have that in DC. I wish we had more of it.
Well, I guess you have to. Well, being African, I think it's probably different because there's a lot. My voice sounds really good. Okay, but all right, no, but being being African, you
have a big community here.
What? Yeah, like it's crazy. Like just the simple fact that I can call somebody that I grew up with in the same building as me and say, can you watch Corey? You know what I'm saying? Because we're from the same country and we're now cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's real African stuff. Like, girl, I have a show thank you, Fatima. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a show in an hour. Like, can your mom watch Corey? Like, or can your cousin? Like, it's beautiful versus, like, you going somewhere else and the security is no longer there because it's like, where are you from? Oh, girl, no, I don't know how you. Oh, I know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that's gonna work. I know that if you're in a Sierra Leone house, like, she's going to be fine. She's going to be fed. Yeah. She's,
and
you know what I'm saying?
Also got to get honest because I think around the time that we were in school, so I went to Norfolk.
Facts, faking,
hard. So it was like
around
the time that we went to school. Being African, this Afrobeats kind of thing wasn't a thing.
It was not there.
So being African, and I can't speak to this because I don't have my roots.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? But I would see it at African friends. People were kind of like different. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I think it was just like they didn't understand the culture enough. But now, since the explosion of like appreciating our history, Black Panther, African ancestry, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like that's. People got to get honest, like that's recent.
Yeah, and it needs
to. All this going to Ghana for New Year's, nobody was doing that.
And that's what I'm
appreciate us
saying.
doing that now. Right. But the reason why I think people were so ignorant back then is because it wasn't a thing. Right. And now it's trending.
Right, and that's what I'm saying about like you had a lot of people that
they were to me. The people that I was around, they were very, very.
But then again, you know, you were very, you know what I'm saying, you're poetic and you're like down to earth, so it's not that.
So people don't feel like
you know what I'm saying. It really
easier for you to embrace
it.
I'm very happy that my personality allows people to be themselves around me.
I've always known Africans who were very proud to be that. It was the Black Americans who were ignorant.
So ignorant, yeah.
So it was like this growing up was kind of like weird because I'm like. I've always kind of been around it.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't even fake it because of your names. Like,
yeah, and then that's the thing. It was like
girl,
fun of people's
where are you from?
It's just like it was a lot of ignorance. Yeah. And mainstream helped bring us out of that, but there's still a ways to go. I see all the fights on Twitter, the African versus Black American thing.
Yeah.
So there's a ways to go.
I just got my Africanism from Erica Badu.
Okay. Well, she's something.
Africanism.
Yeah, it's like
in America,
and that's different.
It's definitely
different, but it's accepted because you actually get some base of like, where do you come from, African American?
Yeah,
that pride.
I think with the whole I feel like with like a whole I want to say Baduism because that's what I would think of it to be. Like it's a step towards. You know, being conscious of there is a African
was that
root.
Like Pan-Africanism?
I don't know what it is. That what it's called? Okay, yeah, I think that might be what it's called. Some of us, because I know my grandmother hates it. Like like it's kind of like a surface. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're wearing a dashiki. I mean, who?
But
but it's like, what does it mean?
And why are you doing
like
that?
With the waist beads and stuff.
Look at the core of it.
Absolutely.
And I fell in love with Africa because of
us. I'm playing.
No.
Hashtag real.
Yeah. When you see these cultured people, they're separate from somebody that I look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, snap. Like, there's a culture, there's an urban Black culture, but the urban Black culture is feared amongst a lot of different other races. So we're this walking race with no belonging. So they felt like Pan-Africanism we felt like, oh, that's home too. Okay.
Facts.
Cousin.
Like, yeah, and I think that sometimes we can be insensitive to that too.
Girl.
Like us Africans, because I'm there a lot of the time.
The Black American experience is very different.
Yeah.
It's very different.
My boyfriend's Nigerian.
Okay, yes. You gotta be cautious.
He looked Nigerian.
You look Nigerian. Oh, man, and trust me and Sia I will come up to I don't care who I say, are you from Nigeria? I'm like, where are you from? Like, I feel like
a distinct look.
We have these conversations. Okay, so his brother has a girlfriend, but she's from Barbados, and I'm like the American girl that comes around the house. So I feel like I am just like. Yeah, so black eyed peas and collard greens, but I'm very open. But I think that sometimes, like it can be very uncomfortable being like it's like you're the one out.
You're the one that you don't know.
And then the crazy thing about it,
but it's not my fault. And I'm like,
and
I'm like, okay, I don't consider myself light skinned, but I'm like, the only reason why my skin is as fair as it is because my grandmother and my great grandmother on both sides of my family were the product of a rape.
Right.
Okay? Like period. So I think that sometimes like being sensitive, like even like we've had conversations where his mother has said something like, "Oh, why can't everybody just get along?" Blah blah blah. Like the whole Governor Northam thing with the blackface. I'm like, no, that nigga's.
Oh, that's fine. But
no, you good.
Racist.
We know what you mean.
I was like,
you good.
I'm like, he's racist, and then the fact that he does not won't even admit to that being him, like, to me that says that you have no integrity and you're still in that space mentally. I can't,
right, of course.
And she's like, oh, what about the mimes and things like, I'm like, that's completely
it's totally different.
But it's like an understand, like the way I feel about certain things is so
totally different.
I'm so passionate because like my mother heard her father say yes sir to a little white boy, and so like those things, like my mom was like very,
those histories are so good.
yeah, and so I think that sometimes it's just like, even though we come from different places, like, and I don't know exactly where I come from,
no,
like just the humanity of like understanding, like, yes, we have different backgrounds, but like we're human. Like,
absolutely.
Can you judge me on my character and not where I come from?
Yeah, and once like I said, like there's a lot of insensitivity to Black Americans, African. I don't know, girl, whatever it is.
It's
at this
really
point.
hard to even delineate with names.
It's a lot
It's like
because
African American, but I don't have a country in Africa.
Yeah, and
you associate yourself as an
and then the
African
people of color.
The thing is to be politically correct. I say African American just if I'm trying to make a point. I'm African all day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody asks me, like, and it depends on, like I said, like who I'm talking to. Because if I'm talking to, Mr. Saleh or Mr. C. Ray, like, oh, where you come from? I come from Sierra Leone. I'm African. Uncle C. Ray might turn around and say, oh, what's you born? Where were you born? I born in America, but both of my parents are there. You're like, oh, but so you're American.
But not really.
But both of my parents.
I think there's a nationality versus ethnicity.
Right. And it's like, I'm not about to sit down and explain it to nobody. I'm African because at the end of the day,
you're not far removed from
at all. This is my blood. Like, I can go to Sierra Leone. I'm still talking to people that are there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there. Like, I'm still in there.
Right. I saw your story and I thought it was so beautiful. Like the country,
thank you.
I was like,
it's so beautiful.
Grass?
Girl, it's beyond grass, girl. It's beyond
you don't
grass.
see grass
It's
and
13
sand all day.
beaches. Listen, honey, it's a lot of sand too. But yeah, like it's just like it's hard. Like being in that space is a very hard space to be in because you're constantly trying to explain yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a lot of the reason why we made this show too, because we're trying to build that gap, like with you guys, with us too. Like, we're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm a jobbing as well too, cause like for Sierra Leoneans, like I'm Creole, so meaning like my tribe is basically built with returned slaves. So it's like I have the African history and I have like that slave history as well within. Because
we're on the border of the sea. We're an island. These are a lot of the places that they fought back and we're like, all right, well, they're coming back. Or some people jumped, ship and came back.
Would you understand? No, I'll let you finish first before I go.
Nah, that's what I'm just saying. Like, so it's up to us to share our stories and share our history with each other so that we understand where we're all coming from.
Right.
Because I mean, right now we're pretty much a generation that's gonna influence what's coming up next.
Absolutely.
So they wouldn't come up with that same ignorant mindset, whether African American
and they need to know what happened because it's like there's some places like whereas our country, because I'm very passionate, where our country should be in a certain place where this. First of all, I'm always bragging about my country. We have every mineral, but I think 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the diamond country. You know what I'm saying? But we don't reflect the diamond country. So it's like the simple fact that we know that, and there's something that is stopping us from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the generation that needs to stop that because we're here and we have access to so much more versus when you go back home and it's people that are just thankful for a bag of rice.
Yeah. On top of that too, like, my bad.
Nah, you're good. No, because you know how we go.
You already know we had this conversation all the time. But like, I feel like in this day and age, ignorance is a choice.
Yeah,
because you literally have a whole computer in your hand every day. So it's like, look up facts. Like,
absolutely.
It's so
like,
simple.
Read about something other than like the shade room.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
even at that, like, help. Like, help. That's it. Like, I love Nigeria. Shout out to man somewhere, right? Like, shout out to those big countries and whatever. But dog, like, there are other countries out here that need help. Like, shout out to like Idris Elba and stuff like that. But it's like,
shout out to Idris Elba.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to. This is for people out there. Like, we have to educate. Like, if you're not Salon Peking, like, you get full educate the people where are coming after you. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up the English and the Creole and stuff. But you have to teach.
The Creole,
I know.
The Creole is sweet.
Yeah, right. But yeah, like, we have to teach our kids. Like, yo, teach your kid how to speak Creole. Like, even if they're not talking to you back. Like, say it so when they go back home, when you go to December and you go to the champagne party and you drop your kid off to auntie this, auntie that, they understand them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to. It's familiar to them. Like, I don't want my kid to be, no shade. I don't want them to be African American. There's no shade at all, because I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want her to, like, literally, we were having this conversation and Corey was like, she was like, my dad is regular, my family in my family in Florida. Yes, they're regular. And my grandma and my mom was like, so what are we? She was like, oh no, we're African. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That made me so proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's no shade. She's not shading anybody, but
she
it's
can
just,
see the distinction.
She knows the difference.
There's like the pride and the unity, and that's what I was responding to with you. Like, that's something to be so proud of. Like, you come from a place where your ancestors fought back. Ours did too, but differently. But it's kind of like, no, we ain't going on this fucking shit. Right. But ours had to. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different level of pride. I have such a deep pride, obviously, for our history, our Black American history, regardless of anything. But there's a different set of pride to know exactly where you come from and who your people were, and and it doesn't stem from pain. Like, yours does as well, probably in certain ways that I don't understand, but ours from a deep place of like
pain.
When y'all were brought over here, like as soon as they were brought here, from the time that they were on the coast of like Ghana, it's kind of like pain the whole way. So that's like, if you believe in like energies and stuff, like, that's our lineage.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the whole way. So I think
to come from pain,
right?
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of brokenness in our families and all those things. So it's a beautiful thing to me that African culture really has like this color to it, this sense of pride, this sense of like, I ain't calling no white boys sir, because like, we come from kings and queens. Absolutely. But on the Black history side, sometimes we have a lot of things that we're still grappling with to get to that level of strength and pride. Right. And so I think that there's a lot of pros and cons on both sides, and that's why I hate the argument. Right. Because it's you gotta
it's always a
absolutely. It always is. And I think it's our responsibility to instill that pride in our kids. Like, yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pain, but there's a lot of pride.
Absolutely. Because our ancestors fought the fuck back for us to get here. You know what I mean? So.
And then I hate when also not hate, because I hate that word. I hate the hate. So with people not realize, well, it is Black Black. It is the first day. It just so happens that was a segue. So I want people to not look at these 29, because it's a leap year, 29 days as just 29 days. Right. Like, people like, well, why it gotta be 28 days? Who cares? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, take 28 days to teach somebody something. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
and if it's a problem,
that's what I feel like. Right. Like, it shouldn't be.
It should not
for our own selves. Like, we should not allow the calendar to dictate when we're going to be proud of who we are and where we come from.
Honestly.
I mean, the rest of the world wanted to limit us to that month. We're going to use that month.
Use it. Exactly. And that's a problem, because I'm having this conversation with prominent African, men, and they're saying that some Black people limit themselves because they don't use the resources that they have. And then, like, you succumb to welfare, and then you succumb to, just thinking that is enough and you can't get to a certain place. Yes, they're always going to try to knock you down, regardless.
But see, you see that type of strength that you have, that has to be taught.
I
love, like, when Africans speak, they speak so dominant. They know exactly where it's coming from.
Right.
And to pull that and to get your point across, to get your business off the ground, to get people to support you, you put yourself out there with this level of confidence that needs to be taught.
That's true.
So when we have this Black History Month, we need to be having events every day. We need to be celebrating every day.
Right.
We need to be talking to Africans and African Americans and communicating. We need to build up Sierra Leone. Like,
honey, say it again.
Yeah.
Yes, no, absolutely.
That's important. And like, we're not that disconnected from, like at the end of the day, we're all Black. And we all look the same, you feel me?
Because don't nobody care. When the police pull you over,
it don't matter what accent you got.
It don't matter.
Ghana, are you from DC?
They're not going to care.
Exactly.
Because at that point, they're going to say, "Where's your green card?"
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
it's always a different type of struggle.
Right. Even here in the U.S., like, you guys have the Gullah people.
Yeah.
They speak Creole.
South Carolina.
Yeah. See, so you probably Sierra Leonean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they say, but then I was in an Uber and she was like, "You don't look." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, exactly.
But people say I don't even look African sometimes.
The thing is, Sierra Leoneans
don't
have a distinct look.
Because we're just all over the place.
Yeah, she said she was from Sierra Leone. She said I didn't look it, and so she's like,
"No,
she said it's probably Ghana." I didn't take it as disrespect, but like she said that. But yeah, my people are Geechee, and we have land in Hilton Head Island. So
see, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
so, girl,
yeah,
she was wrong. Stop driving Uber and giving advice, sis.
But that's how I feel like when people say, "Oh, I love Black people." You gotta like all Black people.
You have to love them all.
360. I'm talking about the people in the trap. I'm talking about people in public office. You gotta love across the river, and when I say the river, I'm like the pond, and on the continent of Africa, and here you gotta love everybody. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's how you gotta treat it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we got into that conversation. All right. So we're locking it up because y'all done took me to 2 hours. I love it.
Good convo though. Good convo.
It's such great convo. So how can women support each other? Because that is it's very deep to me, because I believe in, like, every time like I have men over, like I'm constantly fighting for us, or regardless, like I'll have an all girl event, because I feel like we don't lift each other. We do, a lot of people do, but it's a lot of percentage. Like as soon as we come into a room, we sizing each other up. You get what I'm saying? Like I was telling like some of the guys last week, like he said they were all in a fraternity, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you do like a?" Huh? No, I had everyone. But Iotas, I'm sorry, I just don't know a lot of y'all. I'm so sorry. I love you, but I did. I had. Sorry. But
you don't know that one?
No shame.
I know one, but I'm not here for it. I just don't know who he is. Oh my god. Okay, so
I did not mean to go down this road.
You're right.
Down the rabbit hole.
Now I'm about to go through a rabbit hole finding
sorry.
out.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so so the conversation was, are you gonna bring like females that's in the sorority? And I said, I mean, I know a great amount, but it's so hard to try to bring women together sometimes, because you don't know if this person likes this person. You don't know if somebody done something with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot. Like I just go off of, I went off on a whim with y'all. I didn't ask nobody if anybody knew each other, but sometimes you have to do that. But I feel like we have to support each other, because I see men support themselves to, support each other so quickly. Yeah. Like, so it's like instant.
Is it an insecurity?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm wondering, like, is it?
I don't know the answers, but
is it insecurity?
Sure.
Yes. You're like not sure of yourself, so in order to feel more grand, you have to look down on someone else. Yes,
like that's exactly where it comes from. Because there's no other place that it comes from. I think the only thing that you can do to genuinely support another woman is to scoot the fuck over and make space at the table. You have to give you can't do these like women empowerment seminars and be talking all this shit, but like not make actual opportunities for other women or actually connect. Like I could be like, you know what? I know somebody that would help you even better engineer y'all's podcast or radio show.
Right.
I can connect you to them. Whatever you do with that connection is cool, but I'm supporting you. I'm pushing you in a way for you to grow and build.
Right.
And I think that that's what people have to start doing. I haven't really experienced that. Girls walking in and having attitude. I haven't really experienced that since like high school because I don't do that. Like I just don't. I don't have energy or time, and I'm grateful that I attract good energy because who has time to be dealing with that? But I do think that it stems from insecurity.
A few times though, where I felt like I was experiencing that. It was misread. So it took for me to have to come over and say something to that person and realize, oh my gosh, she's dope, she's cool, like she's nice. And for 3, 4, 5 years, we sitting there looking at each other from the side of the room because we just didn't know what to expect from the next person, and for whatever reason, we just read it wrong. And that's happened a lot of times where I think people misread me for whatever reason. I might not be as outgoing when I walk in a room. I don't know what it is.
She got light eyes.
Or vice versa. So it could be intimidation from each other, or we just don't.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy because
y'all be hating on each other.
I hate people say I suffer from. All right, so I have anxiety. I mean, everybody has anxiety for something, but it's crazy because my anxiety is from being in a room full of a lot of people, right? So the so the way that I fight it, because I would start sweating, like legit. So the way that I fight it is talking to people, like legit. Like I'm like, Mo, you have to say something.
Because like sometimes it's more in our head than
it's so in your head because first of all, I don't even say that word. Sorry, Miss Richardson from 3rd grade, but it's crazy because you feel like people are watching you. So in my head, like I feel like people are constantly watching me to see an imperfection. You know what I'm saying? Because you have that I want to be perfect mentality sometimes. Like you when you're a perfectionist, you're like, this has to be perfect. Like, oh, somebody's not coming today. Like, damn, like, so I got to cross this shit out. Like, I got to think on my toes, like things like that. But the simple fact that there are women like-minded like me, but don't even take the time to learn someone, it bothers me. So I'm always the person that has to take a step. And, what I'm saying? When you came into the room, I'm like, okay, but I'm like, I don't know her, but I'm like, all right, push it to the side. Hi, what I'm saying? Like, I'm Moyatu, because I might not look as friendly as other people, and people don't realize that we have this look. You know what I'm saying? We have this look about us being black women already, like the perception of being like, I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we need to throw out the window. Yeah. Like, we just have to be open. And it is a level of competition there too. But just, being friendly, I think just helps all of that. When you walk in the room, you should speak.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
I think that's the only. Somebody cannot walk into a room and not speak to me. That's
right. I think it's disrespectful.
You can do a blanket like, hey
everybody.
Very disrespectful. That's one thing that rubs me the wrong way. Because I think in general, you should just walk in like a welcoming manner. So you should always kind of just, I don't care who it is.
Yeah. So interesting enough, I went into Domino's one day and I was like staring at the girl behind the desk or behind the counter, and then I had to like pause myself and like, I'm sorry if it looked like I was staring at you. I just thought you were really pretty. And so I'm like analyzing her face because I'm a makeup artist.
Of course.
And she was like, I was thinking the same thing about you. And it was like this very like nice little moment, but like sometimes like we're thinking that people are staring at us because they're picking us apart. But sometimes they're like, she is really pretty. Oh my God, look at those beautiful.
And that's my mentality nowadays, because I'm like, oh, she was probably looking pretty.
Yeah.
Like honestly, no. If we have that mentality, like honestly, with my daughter, like I literally say, this person, you're pretty. Like you're beautiful. It's okay if people don't.
Why is that person looking at me? I don't know. Maybe you're pretty.
That's it. Right. Because when Corbin like, what? Like she be like, what? I'm like, you're pretty. That's it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you're so
real. Recognizes real. So maybe somebody just sees you and they like vibe and something on you.
Those are also those teachable moments. I'm like, go say hi.
Yes.
And as adults, we just don't do it all the
time. Right. Because we're looking down at our phones, or we can't talk no more. People just don't know how to talk.
Interpersonal skills.
They don't know how to speak. So
I'm very forward and assertive, so I don't be having that problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very.
I'm a hugger. Like, so I see somebody, I'm like, hi.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I'm a hugger. Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm definitely a hugger.
Like, if you have a problem at that point, it's you, not me.
Yes, it is.
Like, I showed you. All
It
the pieces are down.
It is. All right. Well, we're coming to a long end.
Yeah.
So I just want you guys to put your just shout out whatever it is that you have coming up, what you're doing, platforms, and I'll just ask the last question and we'll be out. So Nikki, you want to go ahead and say what you got going on?
Yeah. Oh gosh, what do I have going on? Actually, that's TBD. I'm not really sure what projects I'll be working on. Netflix is wrapping up. Essence is wrapping up. So yeah, I'm anxious to see what's next on my plate as far as projects.
Yeah, exactly. right.
Pause. She just skipped over that joint like Netflix.
Yeah.
What else?
Essence. I have a very I am proud. I've gotten to. It's weird. Really quick anecdote. For a long time in my creative career, I was always like very timid to be like, oh God, I used to work here. But like, I have a very impressive resume, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm confident.
Can you go through your resume right quick?
Yeah. So started at Vibe Magazine, went on to Uptown Magazine, worked at Hype Hair for a little bit, Elite Daily, Revolt TV, Netflix, Essence Magazine, Billboard, Teen Vogue.
Right, and I saw you were FaceTiming Diddy.
Damn.
Yeah.
What was that about?
So one time we had a meeting when I worked at Revolt. I was still here, which you can work from anywhere as a freelance writer. Let me just tell you, because all my jobs have been based in New York and LA, and I didn't need to live there. Mm-hmm. But when I worked at Revolt, we were having a team meeting, and Diddy was in there, and I was like, "Well, FaceTime me in, like everybody, like whoever." And so one of our interns had my phone up. And when he was asking everybody individual questions, so I'm thinking he's going to skip over me because I'm on FaceTime, like whatever. No, he pulled that phone to his face.
I know, that's right.
And he was like asking, because the question was, I believe, like, what are your dreams? You know, Diddy's very inspirational.
Yeah.
Like, what are your dreams? What are the biggest goals? Yeah. And so I'm like on FaceTime with Diddy telling him my biggest dreams. It was surreal. But that's where that moment came from. That was a really big moment for me. It's also full circle because I met him when I was a kid. But
did you?
Yeah, so that was insane. But it's like I have had a really good professional history, and so I'm ready to elevate that in a new way. Mm-hmm. Still being my own entity and just making that work. Sorry for all that extra talking. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Nikki McGloster. It's Niki. My last name McGloster, McGloster. That's on everything, and so hopefully I'll have my site up by the end of this month.
And shout out to people that use their real names, dog.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen,
I'm about to start doing that like shit.
No shade to anybody, but I use my name because that's the most different thing.
Your name is your name. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And your name's unique on Instagram too. Like, nobody has it. No underscores.
Yeah,
no
I was
nothing.
like, so what's your name? Like, this is my name.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's your name?
It
Like,
makes it easier for people to find you too.
Exactly.
And there's just like a lot of like strength and pride in that. Like to use like that name. You know what
that's
I mean?
the most pride that I feel
like,
my name.
well, so my dad passed in October, and awful. But
mine did in May.
We don't have any boys in our family
really?
On that side. So once I get married, hyphenating, because I don't want to lose my last name.
Understood.
So I feel like professionally, I want to hold that down. So that's where I got that from. Yeah. So yeah, you can catch me there.
All right, go ahead, Kyla. And before you start talking, how did you start working with June's Diary? Because I saw that,
and they can
so this will speak to women believing in each other and supporting each other.
Yeah.
So that shoot was for Nora Magazine.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
very nice.
Crystal texted me on Wednesday and was like, "Hey, what are you doing Saturday?" I had a wedding booked through the bridal company I was working for, and I was like, I'm gonna get out of it.
Of course. Absolutely.
And so I came up, and that's how
it was so last minute, and she came through like always.
Nice.
Very nice. From that I met Antea, and Antea gave me a call because Ashley Darby was going to be in Richmond, was looking for a makeup artist.
Wow.
And got booked for that gig. So it really speaks to like really being a good person, but you know, making creating relationships and maintaining those relationships and being genuine. I spoke to a group of young ladies, and I told them, like, it doesn't matter how much you know and how good you are at something. If people don't like your personality, like, they'll skip right over you. That
prevails over anything
because somebody else does the same thing and does it just as good.
And they're nicer to be around.
Right, exactly.
And so, definitely shout out to Nora Magazine because they the shit and everything.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's what's
up. Oh, wait, no. Who are you?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I do have a question in the questions.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kyla Chantel, and you can find me on all social media platforms at I am _ Kyla Chantel. That's spelled KHILIACHANTAL.
Girl, that's your name.
That's my real name, right? I'm right. It's a long ass name. It's a long ass name.
All right, Jazz.
So I am gonna be dropping music this year.
Yes.
Lit.
Okay.
You gotta get that album cover together.
Listen, you said it now, so you gotta release it.
Right. Please come back here to drop it.
You got email us the song list. You got.
Please come
You already know.
Let's get this interview popping.
You hear me?
All over it.
Seriously, because it's been a long journey, but I'm ready.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop you. I'm sorry, mommy. I'm so fucking proud of you. Like, you have no idea. Like, you're like my baby, and I'm just really proud of you. Cause like, just from singing in the union, like, just doing what you, just doing what you want. Like, people turn around like, dang, like, she can sing. It's like, but it's like you really, charged yourself to continue to do that God-given talent, because a lot of people can sing, you know what I'm saying? But what you do with your talent and how you improve it, like, even if you have to take time off and then go back, like, it does not matter. Like, it's okay.
Everybody can sing, but don't everybody make it. So like, you going for that is awesome.
And don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Like, I know that it's scary. It's scary as fuck. Like, period. But there's out of like 1,000 no's, dog, there's gonna be a yes.
And everything that you want is on the other side of fear anyway. So
honestly,
come on.
You gotta do it.
Sheesh.
It goes such a long way. That's all I ever wanted was true support. Not people seeing me doing something necessarily or being with somebody and say, oh, now I'm going to support her because she's doing something. And I just, girl, I really appreciate it.
Girl talks go into sleepovers.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and your platform.
That's what I'm doing. And then I'm doing a lot of stuff with the natural hair community because that's something I'm passionate about too. So
awesome.
But you can follow me on Instagram. I am Jasmine Battle, and
nice.
And that's, how do you spell Jasmine? Because there's two different ways.
Jasmine.
Okay.
Battle like battle. Too.
Like the princess.
Yes. All right, go for it, Keila.
Yes. So what's coming up? We actually just released a winter issue of Nora Magazine. That's something I would love for you guys to go ahead and pick up. So that's at nuramagazine.com, nuramagazine.com. Again, in the spring, we'll be right back at you. And then Nora Magazine partnered with Media International to do Kids Fashion Week.
Awesome.
Nice. So that is something I'm really excited for. Thank you. So we did it 2019 is when we launched.
It was so good.
Because she know. Hala was there, front and center, doing her makeup magic. And so, April 19th is the next show. It's at the Culture House in D.C. If you guys can come past, check it out, get your ticket. And then we have a big announcement on Monday.
Ooh. Oh,
I'm going to be busy.
I like that.
But I'm going to go ahead and drop it just because I'm that person. Well. Sorry, guys.
Wait, hold on. Is this camera on? Let's make sure this camera on. Hold on. Let me make sure. No. So Kids Fashion Week DMV has expanded. Is it dead?
Oh, no. They want to make sure they're recording.
It's okay. It's on the podcast.
Okay.
So Kids Fashion Week DMV has expanded. So we are no longer just Kids Fashion Week DMV. We're the Kids Fashion Week Network. And we have now launched San Diego. So it's Kids Fashion Week San Diego. We have brought in our director. She is awesome, Aubrey, and that's not where we're stopping. So Kids Fashion Week is just it's a force to be reckoned with. But no, for real, it's for the children. They are amazing, and just giving them a platform outside of the major New York and LA, you know, sometimes the transportation to get there, you know, the competition is what it is, but we just want to make sure we touch as many children as possible.
Absolutely.
Giving that platform. So
that little girl, Lanaya, that was at the thing last year, Lanaya. Yeah,
she's amazing. Lanaya, I can just keep naming names.
Like,
when I'm talking, like, they're professionals. These children are professional. They stunt walk better than adults.
Oh yeah,
they show off.
I mean, to teach a kid, I mean, they're the ones that you can mold. You know what I'm saying?
Teach them though.
They're just naturally talented that way. That's awesome. I love seeing that.
That's amazing.
At Nura Magazine on Instagram, and also at Kids Fashion Week DMV right now.
And that's N as in Nancy, URA.
Yes, NURA Magazine.
And what did you say the other one was? Kids Fashion Week?
Kids Fashion Week DMV.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, so my very, 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 very last question is...
She lying, y'all know.
It is, I promise. I promise, because I got to pick my child up. All right, so what does it mean to be a girl boss to you? Yeah, it's the theme, so I got to end it.
I think to be a girl boss for me means to be constantly... Okay, it's weird because it's a little bit of both. So I feel like a girl boss is not just in your professional life, it's in your personal life as well. So I think it means to like constantly be becoming a better person and evolving into the best version of yourself and reaching your fullest potential. I always remember this interview that Jay-Z did, and he said that, like, you know, there's a very small percentage of people that are actually reaching their fullest potential. So like that's always in the back of my mind, like how can I be even better? How can I reach it even more? So I think that's one part of being a girl boss. And the other part is to be constantly inspiring. I think if you're doing something only for yourself in a selfish way, it's a waste. So you should always be making sure that you're influencing. That's why I love that kids thing. Like you're always, your Kids Fashion Week, it's like you're constantly giving back and showing other people, especially young girls that look like us, that they can be better too. So
absolutely.
That's the definition for me.
Yep,
absolutely. Ditto.
Hashtag same.
Ditto.
Same.
I also think that, in addition, because I agree with that 100%. I think that having integrity is absolutely important.
Absolutely.
And of course, just kind of constantly evolving, knowing that life is all about change. And when you think that you've reached a level, like just know that there's a higher level. Like knowing that your success is a reflection of your purpose and not competition with any other person.
Yeah, absolutely.
The marathon continues.
Amen. Oh,
yeah, we're coming back to you, child. She said, "Yeah."
Good old times too. But I agree. For real, because I think it's also just being responsible and owning whatever it is that you want to do and passionate about, and that you know will make a difference in the world. Responsible. Take it as a responsibility, and then it'll become more purposeful.
Yes, girl.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's real.
I can't come behind you.
Girl, they say the best is last, okay? The best for last.
Yeah. But for me, girl boss exudes balance. I mean, I feel like as women, we literally have the world on our shoulders. We're balancing so much. You know, we work full time, or we're going full time after our dreams. We have families, our friends. So I feel like it embodies sisterhood, motherhood, womanhood,
all the hoods.
All the hoods. That neighborhood, that's us.
The hood itself.
Right.
So just keeping that balance in the forefront, knowing that you can do it all, but just also taking time for yourself, because we do lose ourselves sometimes trying to do it all. So taking care of yourself and then sharing that, you know, whatever that passion is with the world, you got it. You're a boss.
Hey,
Oh,
yes.
absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, so they just, I'm not going to end that. They definitely killed that. All right, so once again, I really want to thank you guys for coming out. It really means the world to me, and being on time And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely, we can't play with each other's times in 2020.
Yeah.
And I want to just say to you guys that I am proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Because it is amazing to see women reflect their inner love. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that we have to do, but to do what you love is a whole nother realm of specialness and girl boss shit. Right? All right, so I'm logging out. I'm done. I'm finished.
It was a good show.
A very good show. I'm Moyatu.
I'm Denzel.
And this is Free Talk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Are we going to take pictures? Yeah.